So I don't know if you still expect one when you're all grown up, but there seems to be a lot of adults that are so looking forward to the Easter Bunny, dropping off an Easter basket.
Yeah, my daughter, one of them. In fact, she tagged me on Facebook the other day.
Oh, for real?
She tagged me on social media, and it was like waiting on my mom to start on my Easter basket. And I was like, what? And then her friends, obviously, about her age, started saying, I'm the same, tagging their own moms. And I'm like, wait a minute. You have a family.
Tagging their own moms.
Right. You have a family of your own now. But I get it because as an adult, I get one from my husband.
No, what?
Yeah, I do.
Joey gives you
Yes.
an Easter basket?
I think, he likes to give gifts. It's no dissing of my husband at all, but I think I'm the one who sort of put the pressure on. Because I gave him an Easter basket when we, first got married, and then there was the expectation.
Well, the dude's romantic anyway.
Where's my basket?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and Scott's wife does something for him. What's that?
She'll get me my favorite candy, the Reese's peanut butter cup, the eggs. So that's, if I could just get a few of those at Easter, I'm very happy.
In a basket.
Yeah. Does she put them in a basket?
I don't even need the basket. Just give me the candy.
Let's get you a basket.
You got to have
Let's
a basket.
get you a basket.
Like a personalized, it says Scooter on it or Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, Scooter's his nickname.
From
I had
me.
no idea.
From me.
Oh, you call him
boy.
Scooter.
Yes, I call him
Liz calls him Scooter.
Yes.
All right, Scooter. I thought it was for a different reason, but I don't know. So your kids, Scott.
They still get the baskets. They do.
Well, your daughter's 17.
She is, and she expects it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Easter Bunny coming there for them.
So when the bunny is out, because I think there's an age limit for that guy.
For the bunny.
Yeah, so will you take over afterward, Scott?
Oh, yeah. For
We'll
the
see.
17-year-old.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If there's some Reese's eggs in it, sure.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Okay, there seems to be, for some people, a time when the Easter basket ceases to exist in your life, except for the kids, right? But there are some adults, some that still get the Easter baskets in a couple of weeks, like our very own Ninja.
I do. Yes. Maybe because I'm a kid at heart.
But do your brothers and sisters, do they get the Easter baskets as well?
They do.
Well, who's the oldest?
Me.
Okay, so they're younger.
Yeah, but not that much younger.
How many are still at your house or at mom's
house.
and dad's house?
Just the brother for now. But even because me and my sister aren't home on Easter, so my mom will make sure she saves it to get it to us.
And what's included in this basket?
Usually a chocolate cross, some Peeps, some extra candies.
For a second, I thought she was going to say peas. I'm like, okay, now vegetables are coming.
LeSueur,
Carrots.
baby.
Carrots. I love it. Janet's here at 800-447-7234. Okay, I understand there is a suggestion or an idea about an adult Easter basket for the adult kids. What is it?
When your kids are too big for a regular basket, start with a plastic laundry basket and you fill it with household items. Cleaning supplies, toilet paper.
How did that go over for your kids?
Oh, I didn't actually do it.
Not yet. It sounds like you are going to, though.
But I could.
How would you react if you got said Easter basket, Janet?
Oh, I probably wouldn't have been thrilled.
Because I'm thinking, I don't want to adult in my basket.
But you got to make sure you put a Reese's peanut butter cup in there.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Gil used to go to his favorite coffee shop and meet his buddies so that they could, just hang out, sip their coffee, and have some good conversation. He did this about once a week. Well, during the pandemic, of course, everything was shut down. He had to find a new way to get his coffee, but he didn't get the conversation, and he kind of missed that. So he started going to a Dunkin' Donuts in his town, and he realized that the people that were working inside the Dunkin', they were always friendly, hospitable. They kind of reminded him of his former students because he used to be a teacher.
Oh, okay.
So at one point during the pandemic, he knew that they were losing hours because not as many people were showing up. And he thought, well, I can do something to help. So he tipped them almost $300.
Oh, get out.
Yeah. So he gets his coffee, tips the $300, and now they have adopted him as their grandpa.
Oh, get out.
Yeah.
Really? He's grandpa now.
He is grandpa. His wife is known as Jenny to them, almost like a grandma figure. So they have a sign in this Dunkin' Donuts from here on out, since the tip, that says anyone who lets Grandpa, in quotes, pay is terminated immediately. It's a joke. They're not going to fire them, but
there's
like,
a little smiley face at the end of the letter.
But they have gotten to know him. Like, he shows up now that he can go into the Dunkin' Donuts, and they have started this real relationship.
I love that.
And they love on him, and he loves right back.
A place where everybody knows his name.
They even threw him a birthday party.
No.
They threw him a birthday party with all of it. He likes the maple bar, which is a big long donut, I guess. That's what they served at his
How many
birthday party.
candles do they have to put on that?
Oh, about 98.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
The oldest surviving Bible is about 1,100 years old. And you probably heard about this because this surfaced, at least in the news, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. It's making this world tour. It's going around the globe and then auctioned off like in May. And they've come up with a price tag of what they think that this Bible is going to go and have. It's a Hebrew Bible, so it's all written in Hebrew. It's not like printed pages. It's literally handwritten in Hebrew. It's so amazing to see.
And it's like leather bound. So somebody, has taken care of it through the many, many years.
So they're thinking at the auction house, because they're going to auction this off. Somebody's going to buy it. They're thinking it will be a minimum of $30 million for this Bible.
$30 million.
They think there's a chance that somebody might pay $50 million for it.
So I wonder, just in my mind, is that an individual or is that a museum? Is that who is that's going to pay that money?
Who knows? Somebody might buy it. I mean, there's some people that have been granted the gift of wealth.
Yes.
That might go, you know what? I really am into the Bible. I'm into growing in God, and this would be a neat thing to have for my family. So they might do that. I don't know. And others might get it and put it in a museum.
Yeah, I would hope there's going to be an opportunity. I know it's on this tour, now, but I hope there's an opportunity in the future to be able to take a look at it.
From what I understand, there are 3 they're calling these ancient Bibles that are around the globe right now. This is just one of them.
That's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, God's word and written by hand.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Mr. Pickles, Mr. and Mrs. Pickles, they are celebrating. They have been waiting forever to have some kids.
Oh, good for them. I love their last name, by the way.
I know, Pickles.
Yeah.
Isn't that the sweetest? So finally, just recently, they brought 3 babies into the world.
Oh, that's great.
Triplets. Isn't that cool?
That's a lot of diapers and bottles.
More like pieces of melon, lettuce leaves.
Wait a minute, you give that to
like
babies?
Well, you can if they're turtles.
You didn't mention that.
Well, because I wanted it to be a surprise. Mr. and Mrs. Pickles, they are tortoises. They live in Houston, and he's 90, and she's 53.
Wow.
They've been waiting a while. But
It's like Abraham and Sarah.
A little bit, but if you look at the life of a tortoise, they can live to like 150 years. So they're in middle age, a little less than middle age.
You know what I learned? Scott, at one time in his life, I don't know how this happened, but he was a tortoise.
Huh?
A little bit of an acting background. I was the tortoise in my first grade class's production of The Tortoise and the Hare.
No way.
The theater.
Yes.
Love the theater.
You wound up winning the race.
I did. My friend Todd was the hare,
Yeah.
and he and I were both trying to go like fast, even though we were supposed to be like slow. And I remember I had to like slow down in my crawling on stage because he was going really fast.
Okay,
So we
what
were
was the
trying to have that
costume?
little mini race?
What
I
was
like,
the-
slow down, man, slow down.
What was the costume like?
It was like 2 pieces of cardboard with
I knew.
rope. Remember that? The rope that kind of tied the 2 together, and you just put it over your head and wore it. It was colored like a tortoise shell.
So like a sandwich board, but not.
Right. Yeah.
Did they call you Mr. Pickles?
No.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Well, one thing about Joe Kennedy, he's a football coach at a school, and he started like in 2008, and one thing that made him stand out amongst the other teams and that whole school district that he was in is that he went to the 50-yard line and he prayed with the students before the game.
Phenomenal.
Which is amazing. It was, 2015 that the school was like, oh, wait a minute, he's doing what? I'm sorry, you can't do that, sir. But he continued. He's like, hey, I'm allowed to. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing that you can say I I have to stop. And so he kept praying. He eventually got fired. Well, this thing went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they just ruled in his favor. So not only does he get his job back as coach, but he's also getting like over $1 million.
Wow, yeah, because they had to make restitution for, I guess, the time that he wasn't employed.
But what it tells me is that he stood strong. He knew that it was okay. I mean, the Supreme Court said it was under the First Amendment. He has the right to pray on the 50-yard line. It's okay.
And what's incredible to me is that the community seems to be right behind him. Saying, what was wrong with that? I don't understand. You can pray. You can pray on the 50-yard line. No worries.
It's okay. If you don't want to pray, don't participate.
Exactly.
But he was praying. He stood strong, and now he's got his job back.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
I had no idea, and I have to ask Liz these questions, but I thought you could freeze just about everything to keep. Evidently, you can't.
No, you can't. Like things like lettuce. Ew.
Well, and I have to ask Liz these questions because I don't know. I thought that you could freeze like pudding. Why can't you freeze pudding?
I think that it separates. The milk starts to separate from, because you put cornstarch in it. And so cornstarch is like a thickening agent. And so when you freeze it, the milk starts to separate from the thickening agent, and it's just gross.
So why can't you freeze like a pasta or rice?
So I've never tried, I don't think, to freeze rice, so I don't know if the chemicals get changed up when you freeze something, and then it then thaws out. So that could possibly be the
I had no
issue.
idea.
Yeah,
I thought you could freeze everything, like egg whites. You can't freeze egg whites, I'm hearing.
if it doesn't have the yolk in it, yes, because it needs the fat for whatever reason for the freezing to work correctly.
Why not mayonnaise?
Same thing. You've got eggs in it.
So it seems like anything that's like a liquid type of thing you can't freeze. What about ice?
So you
can freeze water.
You actually can freeze ice. Water. Whatever.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
Kim had an idea a couple of years ago. She went to her husband. She talked about it, and they started planning. About a year or so in advance, they were trying to find out, could they live on one income, on her husband's income? And they realized they think that they can. And so she decided, and on January 26th, she went on her social media and said, "This is the first day of my gap year." She's taking a gap year from her, not really from her family, but from her job.
So that she can focus on the kids.
Yes.
I get it.
She wants to stay home, and they look to be like early middle school, high school. So she wants to take advantage of that time with them before they get older. I mean, depending on the age of your kids, you look at up to maybe 18, and that's when you have that real good one-on-one time.
Yeah, my family's a one-income family, and there's a lot of sacrifices, but so rewarding.
Right. And that's what she was looking for, My only takeaway is I wonder if her husband will ever get that gap year time with the kids. So my heart kind of hurts for him a little bit, but I understand what she's doing. So.
Well, because she's focusing a lot of time.
Yes.
I think he has more time because I feel that as a one-income family, because there's a lot of sacrifices and there's not a lot of dinners out and a lot of vacations to fancy places.
Yeah.
And you go in tents and stuff like that you do find that there is more time that you're spending with the kids because you're not away all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes total sense. It's something I've never lived. I've never been able to do that. And so I like that perspective of it does allow the husband or the person that is working to have more of that time as well.
Yeah.
If some of those household duties, if you will, are being taken care of.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
This is the time to actually do this. So text the word vacay, like vacation, short vacay with a Y, vacay, to 800-447-7234. Text it right now. Vacay to 800-447-7234. And I'll tell you why, and this is courtesy of J. Davis Construction, you could win a vacation. Literally, a vacation your way. You could win that.
Yeah. Could it be somewhere warm? It's a little chilly this morning. My legs are cold. I'm thinking somewhere where it's nice and toasty.
She's in a place where there's a lot of air conditioning right now.
Right?
It's a little warmer than what it was like last week.
Yes.
Which is nice, but can you imagine an amazing summer vacation?
Oh, that would be.
The way it's up to $3,500, so you'll be able to use that the way you want. There's a travel agent. I love how all this works. a Vacay Your Way that you could win with his radio.
Yeah, take that $3,500. Man, you could do a road trip because, like Rob, you like that whole RV thing.
Yeah.
Like doing that road trip thing.
If we had an RV, we would do that. But now we
Yeah.
pack ourselves in an SUV.
Well, yeah, and me, I want to be on a flight. So, whatever it looks like
She does fly
for you,
everywhere.
then you can get in on it. And this is part of our...
She flies to the next county.
Oh, I don't think so. Well, we won't talk about my driving. But anyway,
Oh, it's fast.
it's a little fast.
She needs a ticket sometime.
Hey,
Vacay Your Way. You could win that. And by the way, Friendraiser is like 2 weeks away from tomorrow. So if you give your gift right now at hisradio.com, you'll be pre-registered to win the Vacay Your Way because that's the first day giveaway for Friendraiser.
Darlene wants in on this.
Oh, she's already texted?
She texted Vacay.
Good for you, Darlene.
Yes.
So be the next one through. Vacay Your Way. You could win it. Just text the word Vacay right now. Vacay to 800-447-7234.